PLC Network here at CES 2022, and we are at the NexiGo booth here with Dan. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Dan's from Oregon. I'm jealous. I'm from a desert. This guy's from a much better place, but we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about something that our people have been talking about with your people via email, but never in person before.
Yes.
It's the 4K webcams that the company has to offer.
100%.
So these, now we were talking again earlier about, some of the issues, like there's certain names out there like Brio that have, kind of had that top pedestal for a while because nobody was really coming out with a 4K solution.
Yes.
And when they did, it was like digitally enhanced. It wasn't really it wasn't a true 4K sensor.
Actually 1080p upscaled.
Exactly.
Yep.
You had this grainy, oversaturated image. They're trying to compensate with software correction. It just didn't deliver. This is the opposite of that.
Exactly the opposite.
So
of
we're
that.
looking at actual 4K sensors in these cameras.
We've got 4 cameras with 4K sensors. Makes it easy. All you gotta know, 4K, 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 4K.
Perfect. And so this is kind of like the starting point, per
Absolutely.
se. And
Yes.
so we got a 4K UHD sensor in this.
Yes.
And what kind of I'm guessing because of the size of it, maybe it's just the size is throwing me off, but it has a pretty good wide angle to it.
It sure does. This thing's got a 110-degree angle. So
Perfect.
it's gonna
Okay.
see you no matter where you are, sitting at your desk, sitting in a conference room. It's gonna be able to see where you are and make sure that you're in the frame.
Perfect. You can even get 2 people in that frame at 100.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
That's great. So this is great. What's the price point of something like this?
So this one's coming in at $149.99 right now.
Okay.
It comes with the remote, it's got native 4K. It also comes with the NexiGo app, so that way you can make any image corrections, anything that you need to do right there in the app.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Actually. And the fact that you actually have so much control using the remote versus any kind of having to break down like using OBS or anything to really dial in your webcam. You don't have to use any of this. This is plug and play. Works with Skype. Anything you want to plug it into.
Plug and play. We found that customers don't want to have to mess around with their webcams, so we're making it easy for them. Just plug it in. It's ready to go.
Perfect. So this is a great price point as well because I won't name names off anymore, but some of those other competitive names are they're still like $250, right?
At
I believe.
least,
So
yes.
so $150 is a pretty good starting point for this.
Absolutely.
And so this has a pretty wide angle, but if you need a little bit more,
Yes.
you have a PTZ option here.
100%.
That's more like a security camera almost, but in a webcam form.
Or, you could use this in a school, a classroom, doing teaching of any kind, in a hospital, to do board meetings, anything that you might want it to, especially in a wide environment. Now, this thing does have the full 360-degree side-to-side rotation, so it can get you no matter where you're at. It also has 180 degrees vertical rotation. So it's going to be able to track you wherever you are in the room. Even if you're walking up to the back of the conference room, up the stairs, it's going to still follow you all the way up there. It's also got AI tracking and AI framing to make sure that you're always in the center of the image. Unlike this guy that's just you got to sit in the center of the picture.
Exactly.
This guy's going to make sure you're in the center of the picture.
That's and how fast is it responding to any movements?
Very fast.
Very fast?
So
if I move, it just
bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Absolutely. You can't run away from this thing.
Awesome. So this is really great, especially in a meeting room atmosphere.
Absolutely.
So if you have a roundtable meeting or anything like that, but you actually have an option here that kind of competes with options like the OWL that's on the market.
100%.
So this is also 4K.
It sure is.
It's 360 degrees.
320 degrees on this model.
320 degrees. Okay.
Absolutely. So if you see here, the TED turns around, it just can't go quite all the way behind itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is also using AI software, or your own AI that's similar to this, that's going to capture you. This is based on whoever's talking.
100%. Now this thing has 4 built-in microphones. So that way it can always track who's talking, where they're at, how far they are away from the camera to make sure that it can keep you centrally framed in that image. It also has the AI tracking and AI framing to make sure that you're always right there in the center of the image. And it has some of the most advanced post-processing available on the market. So as it's doing its stuff, it's taking the images and stuff, it's going through there to make sure that the colors are right, that the white balance isn't off, that it's got all the basic steps all taken care of for you.
Perfect. And does it have a remote too?
This has, all 4 of these
And
have
it has
a remote.
a remote.
Absolutely.
And so, what's the price point of this one?
So the price point on this guy has not yet been announced.
Okay.
But just to give you a little insider info, we're thinking it's probably going to be in that $400 to $500 range.
You just killed the competition then, you know, because I had mentioned hourly. I think it's like just over $1,000.
Exactly,
isn't it?
100%.
It's an expensive camera.
It sure is.
So this one, at that price point, that would be amazing. You would take the industry with that, especially with a 4K sensor and a remote. You know, so you have a lot. This is perfect for anybody who's, you know, especially, you know, anybody having company meetings. You know, and again, roundtable solution. You know, but also working with Zoom or anything else for those employees that are remote.
Exactly.
There's a lot of companies doing a lot of actually shows like CES that are doing actual panel rooms where people are tagging in remotely and using equipment like this to be able to make that happen.
100%.
So
next year, they're all going to be using NexiGo.
Probably. At this price point, why not? I mean,
exactly.
you just blew everybody away. So this price point is pretty good. What was this was 150.
150.
What was the price point of this one?
249.
249.
400 to 500 to be decided. And then this guy is going to be coming in at 249 as well.
249. Now this one, what's special about this one, we were talking earlier, this one actually has a very large sensor in it.
It sure does. Now, it's not just a little bit larger than the competition. This thing has the largest webcam sensor of any webcam in the market. It's 55% larger than anything else out there in the market. So not just a little bit, it's a whole lot bit bigger. Now that allows you, bigger sensor means better picture. That sensor allows you to get better DPI, better resolution. It makes sure that your images and your videos are as clear and as crisp as they possibly can be. Now, the other thing that we're really excited about with this guy is it's got the HDMI port in the back, so that way you can just hook it up directly to a capture card and get uncompressed 4K video quality. Now, DSLRs you can do that with, but DSLRs cost a lot of money.
Absolutely.
This is coming in at $249 to start off with.
So $249, 4K, very large sensor, HDMI throughput. That's pretty nice. I mean, that's looking, and it's a nice profile and everything like that. I mean, it kind of looks like a smaller Kinect sensor in a way.
Exactly, yeah.
And again, I love that price point. And this also has tracking as well, I believe.
I'm
pretty sure I read that on the sign there.
Absolutely. The only one without the AI auto tracking and auto framing is going to be the N950P. All the rest of these are going to have that built-in AI software to make sure that no matter what you're doing, if you're teaching, if you're walking around, if you're just streaming and you need to get up and go get a Coke, it's going to make sure that you stay in the center of the frame no matter what you're doing.
So this is taking care of, like these ones are using actual rotation. This one's using PTZ to be able to pull it off.
Yes.
This one's going to be using, a lot of companies have been doing that lately with the zoom. So there's a lot of digital processing here to be able to, so you're technically zooming in on the image, then focusing on a piece of it, and if that person moves, it's pretty much moving where it's focusing within that field. That's fantastic. So price points are great. We'll definitely have to talk about these in the future.
Absolutely.
Again, you know, our people have been talking with your people, so I'm sure we'll figure something out later in the future about covering this in a story later on, because this sounds great and we'd love to see it for ourselves.
Well, we'd love to talk with you more about it.
Absolutely. So we look forward to hearing more about this and seeing what comes from this and what else NexiGo is going to have to offer in the future, because, you know, you're going to have to one-up this, you know, and you know, that's a lot to have to one-up.
We like to say we don't sell everything, we just sell the best stuff.
I like it. It works.
Making it easy.
So next year I'm going to want 8K. I'm going to want, no.
There we go. Let's get the wish list together.
Yeah, let's get the wish list together. This is great. Thank you so much, Dan.
You're very welcome.
If you want to check out more information about this, of course, we're going to have some information in the description. If you're watching us on the website, we'll have some information there as well. Of course, go to NexiGo's website for additional information and where you can find these. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon and everywhere else as well. So
absolutely.
Maybe we'll throw some links in there as well to make that easier to find. Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we can't wait to talk to you again in the future to see where that 8K is coming along at.
We'll be waiting.
If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.